Hello and welcome to Animavoice Fandub service. I'm your host, ToonDubs. In this episode, I'll be discussing how to get across a good Fandub performance. I'm not saying that I'm one of the greatest Fandub performers ever, but I'm going to give you advice on kind of like how I kind of do it, and what kind of things I've kind of learnt once joining the Fandub community. Personally, I've been an actor since I was about 7 years old. I've been in kind of like community plays, short films. I've lent voices to original animations, voices to fandubs, obviously, and things like that. And kind of like the approach to fandub performance isn't just making it get in sync, because trust me, that's an important thing, to get it into the sync. It's about being quite emotive, and capturing the character. And when I say that, I don't mean changing your voice, because yes, it's kind of good to have that kind of range of voices, but it's also great to have that range of emotions. And like, because you're doing a cartoon character, don't be afraid to go a little over the top, depending on the kind of character it is, because you can get these kind of wacky kind of characters, and some people will say, oh yeah, I could do an impression of that character, and you're listening and go, oh, don't worry about impressions. You don't have to do a spot-on voice, because like I've said in other videos, with a fandom voice, it's great to move it away from the source material, because it's what makes the fandom different. Because if you want to watch a performance thing, it's exactly like the original, then watch the original. Simple as. You watch the fandom to check out someone else's take on the character. So don't be afraid to like go ahead and do it. But like that doesn't mean like go and audition for Gaston and Beauty and the Beast and do it an odd impression, okay? So yeah, so just like keep an open mind about what you're doing. Don't be afraid to just go for it, okay? Be quite emotive. It's good to have good microphone quality and stuff like that, but there are some techniques, some cheap techniques that I can recommend to you. With your microphone, put a sock over it if you can't afford a block shield. I've got a block shield, but I've recommended to people I've worked with to get a sock, because trust me, it's great. It works just kind of the same. It's great. Just put a sock over your microphone, simple as. Work very hard around your computer's sound recording settings. Go into your sound options and pretty much play around. Don't be afraid to like play around, because you can change it back to the way it was. But like, play around with your levels. That is the most important thing. Play around with these are pretty much your levels, and you can just pretty much mess around with them. It'll all depend on your voice, really, and how the microphone will react to it. So, like, just either these two options here in the level option in the sound kind of part of your control panel, they're the best things to use. They're great. I'm not saying that will make your performance better. I'm saying that those will help capture your performance better, okay? That's the best advice I can give concerning recording your voice, if you can't afford a professional microphone. But I actually found a pop shield and microphone together. I bought it for about £18, but that's a pretty good deal. But I know there are those people, so like those are two things that I can advise to those who can't afford things like that: a sock and play around with your levels. I know that sounds, oh god, that sounds just wrong, but seriously. Mature, professional. Anyway, yeah. Okay, so those are the kind of things you can kind of keep in mind. Like I've said in another video, accents should not be a problem unless you are auditioning for a walking accent joke. If the character exists in a fandub just to be the joke of an accent, then yes, I can understand high standards of a fandom director. But if you come across a fandom director that, or someone in general says that your performance, the problem was the accent, ignore them. You can't help your accent, okay? Like I said earlier, it's not about changing your voice. It's about the performance. You can come across actors that just do their own voice, but like somehow they are completely different characters. Best example would be Phil Hartman, The Simpsons. Did you know that Phil Hartman was an array of different characters, but half the time he was just doing his own voice, and you can never tell. I mean, like Troy McClure and Lionel Hutz, don't they sound completely different, but at the same time they sound the same? Okay, so don't worry about changing your voice. It's impressive, trust me, it's impressive to show off how many voices you can do. Trust me, it's great. And it can help when auditioning to show, look, I can do all these different voices. But the main thing is the performance. Does it capture the character? Is it emotive? My best advice when it comes to capturing emotions is to observe your own voice in real life and other people's voices, and just analyze their tones during the way they say things and stuff like that. Just pay attention to that, because the thing is, people's voices can often change pitch and tone depending on the way they're saying something. So don't be. This is something that an abridged actor told me, was that don't be afraid to make the pitch of your voice go higher or lower, okay? Because you don't have to stay in the same pitch, because like if you notice, sometimes your voice can go up, can go a bit down the way you say something. If you get angry, sometimes your voice can get a bit more serious and deep, and when you kind of get more surprised, like, really? So those are examples. Don't be afraid to change the pitch of your voice. Don't keep a monotone, kind of like, this is my voice, I'm going to talk like this all the way through. Don't have a range of pitch, but don't overdo it. Don't end up going, hello, my name is Toon Dubs. You're just going to sound bloody ridiculous. So my advice there is, keep an eye on the way people say things, and you can capture a realistic voice performance. At the same time, pay attention to cartoon characters' voices. Any cartoon character in general, really, but like the best ones to look out for are Steve Blum, Frank Welker, Jim Cummings, John DiMaggio, Billy West, Mona Marshall, Tara Strong, Seth MacFarlane, Dan Castellaneta, Crispin Freeman. Just check them out. Check all those people out. Just go for it, because like there's such a range. I know another example of like how a performance can be outstanding without changing your pitch would be the South Park voices. They rely on changing their pitch, yet they have captured the character without naturally changing their voice. They've digitally changed it, yet they've captured the character. It's hard to explain, but I mean, like, they will basically put a character's pitch on computer to a really high thing, and yet Cartman could have been a really boring character, because it could have just basically done a natural voice going, hello, my name is Cartman, and then if you put that a helium voice goes, hello, my name is Cartman, you've got to have emotion even when a voice is digitally altered. Because I don't have a problem with voices being digitally altered. It's about if you keep the right emotions and the right character during that thing. Because yeah, you can at the same time during that pitch change, you can change your pitch. It's all getting very complicated right now. But like, yeah, that's my best advice concerning a Fandub performance. And I hope it helped you, because that's the main reason I'm making this video series, is to help and encourage people in the Fandub community. Okay? Thank you for listening.